It has been some time since my last activity over here, but during the last month some things have happened which I want to share with you in this video. Within the next weeks and month I am also going to share some results from my last trip to Switzerland, where I had some very good but also some rather unpleasant experiences. In addition to my casual landscape camera setup, I also brought along an unconventional camera which was actually quite fun to shoot in an environment like that. So if you are interested in seeing how this turned out, you might consider subscribing. First and foremost, I want to share some impressions from an exhibition which I visited last year. The exhibition was displayed in the city of Paderborn and was called Waves and Wood by the photographer and artist Jörg Gläscher. The majority of his images were displayed inside of the gallery, but in addition to that, one of his sculptures has been set up in the backyard of the building, which in my opinion brought the whole exhibition to another level. While looking at these images, thoughts are starting to cross your mind, like how it would feel to just coincidentally come across these wooden waves during a walk in the forest. Depending on the viewer, it might cause rather good or bad feelings. A surf and wave rider enthusiast will certainly react differently than someone who is afraid of the ocean depth. In addition to that, the topic of waves in general is much deeper than just referring to water and the ocean, and leaves a lot of space for interpretation. In case you like the work of Jörg Gläscher as much as I do, I can only advise you to take a closer look at it, and if you want to do so, I have linked his Instagram in the video description. Moving on to another point, two of my images got featured in the recent Talents of the Year book of the independent photographer. Of course, it is always nice to see your images getting featured in some sort of way, but what I like most about being featured in a book is that you can come across some talented photographers that you might not have seen without it. If photography contests in general are rather beneficial or not is of course a question everyone has to answer for themselves, and a whole nother topic anyway. But in my opinion, the jury made a good job in picking smaller but talented artists, and I just quickly want to show you my favorites. The first image that caught my eye is the artistic portrait of a silverback gorilla. Compared to the many text-sharp, well-lit and polished wildlife pictures I have seen, this image really is something else. I not only like it because it is different. For me, the shadowy and blurred outlines of the wild animals he photographed are leading me to interpret human emotions into the picture and into the animal. This is probably caused by seeing these rather abstract images. My brain starts searching for common things it can connect to, and which apparently are human emotions in my case. However, a classical text-sharp wildlife picture would not send my thoughts on the same journey, as my brain wouldn't have to search for anything. Another image I really like is the aerial photograph of a solar farm in Nevada by Laurel Anderson. What makes this image special for me is first of all the subject and the seemingly isolated location, but also the framing and position of the camera. The solar panels in the front of the image are big enough to recognize them as such, but he still managed to let them dissolve into one indistinguishable mass in the distance, which also emphasizes the size of the whole construction. Despite that, the portraits from Mauro Mataloni and Giuseppe Gradella, as well as the whole black and white photography section, also really spoke to me. Talking about something else, I want to announce that I will not continue the silent photography series anymore. I did like the idea and concept of simply presenting photography without commenting on it. However, in most cases there is a lot of background information either about the photograph or the travel circumstances, and for that reason I'm going to make some adjustments in the upcoming videos. As I'm mentioning upcoming videos, I also replaced some of my equipment and got rid of things that I simply wasn't using anymore. For example, the Rollei 35S, which was one of my first film photography cameras. It is a fun and small size film camera, but for landscape photography not the best choice, as the viewfinder is very small and it has no interchangeable lenses. It was only collecting dust and I haven't had any intentions on using it again, so it was time to sell it. My M6 setup has changed as well, and for the first time I added a second lens to my setup, which you will be able to see in the upcoming videos from the Swiss Alps. Last but not least, I need to apologize that the already announced giveaway of the Leica Digilux 1 hasn't happened so far. The camera is still here and is going to be sent to whoever is winning, but I have to make a small adjustment to make sure that it gets delivered to the real winner and not somebody pretending to be the winner. To participate, you only have to sign in for the giveaway through the link in the video description and leave either an email address or Instagram name so I can contact you in case you won. You don't have to subscribe to anything and there are no other requirements to participate. I simply want to make sure that in case you are winning, nobody else pretends to be you and I'm not sending it to the wrong person. The giveaway is open until the end of July, and with that being said, I will see you in the next one.